Hello everyone, I'm really happy to see you on my channel again, or see you in general if you just came here. I know I usually talk about learning Polish and how to speak, but today I would like to touch upon a quite different matter: how not to learn language, what mistakes can happen or happen quite regularly that actually prevent us from successfully learning a language. So we all know this moment when we decide that we're going to refresh a language that we already know or learn a new one from scratch. And we have this idea of us traveling to a foreign country and speaking fluently, or sitting and reading a favorite book in its original. And we're so excited. And we may buy a bunch of books or even write down a study plan, which is great and all. And then life happens. You know, all those tiny little things that make us not really that willing to put the effort into studying. It may be working long hours, or coming back to screaming children, or having dishes piled up in the sink. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, even if we're not really that tired, we are mentally tired, and we just don't have this capacity to sit down and study for an hour. And again, we imagine studying as kind of a long process. So it's not enough to just sit down for 10 minutes and call it a study session. We imagine that studying has to take some time. It has to be at least an hour or any other period of time. So we just don't feel this capacity to do this, and then we push it back, but we still have this dream of speaking the language. So maybe on the weekend, or maybe once a month, we do this extreme power study session when we sit down and spend like 5 hours straight studying, and then nothing happens, and nothing will happen, because studying for multiple hours is not really effective. And then again, if you spend like a whole weekend studying and then just put your books away and let them gather dust for another 3 weeks, your brain will think, yeah, I get all these vocabulary and words and ideas and structures and stuff like this, but do I really need this? No, I don't. Of course I don't, because I have a bunch of other stuff to remember. And then all those things that we have learned for those couple of hours just evaporates. And this is obvious. This is like a natural process. If we don't need something quite regularly, our brain will decide to just erase the information or hide it. So if you don't really want to learn a language, go ahead with power study sessions for several hours. On the other hand, if you do want to learn a language, think about 10 minutes as quite enough time to refresh some vocabulary, or maybe read a couple of sentences or write down something. I mean, it may not be perfect, but if it's 5 or 10 minutes every day, then it's a couple of hours during the week. So it's actually quite a long time. We all know these books. They have these amazing titles like English in 30 days, Japanese in 30 days, whatever language in 30 days. Lovely. We buy them. We are so excited, thinking that we will actually be able to speak fluently if we study with this book 30 days. And it may happen that we actually keep to the plan and use the book every day for 30 days, and then the book comes to an end, the month has passed, and we feel frustration. We feel frustration because we have spent a bunch of time, devoted our month to studying the language, and all we can do is like do the shopping or buy a train ticket or order coffee. We just decide that it's not for us, we're not good enough or whatever. And I call that bull, because within 30 days there's no possibility to jump several levels of language proficiency. But if you manage to learn all the words you need to buy a train ticket, get yourself a nice coffee in a coffee shop, order some food in a restaurant, or do the shopping, that's great, that's lovely. That's like really good process. You have jumped an entire level within 1 month, and this is job well done. We'll be doing a video on the language proficiency levels later on, so stay tuned to the channel if you want to know about that, and I think this will help you all on your language learning journey. So by all means, use the 30-day whatever language books, but use them wisely. Don't expect too much out of them. They are a great source, but they will not allow you to read a book in original or speak fluently. This is just the start of your journey, but a good start. Some of us are more into the electronic type of things. I totally get you. I love my apps. So we download the app. We have all the fun. So we get to different levels and win the prizes and stuff is great. And we think, ooh, I've learned so much. No, you didn't. Sorry to break it to you. Apps are not like the greatest source of language learning. It may be one source, but if you're only using an app, all you're learning are just some words, you're not really learning any structures. All you will be able to do is just repeat the sentences that you have learned, but then again, you will not be able to use the language creatively because you don't know the language structures, you don't know the grammar just by using the app. You will not learn about all the exceptions from the rules. So again, great if you just want to know how to order coffee or some food in a restaurant, but if you want more, then just an app is not enough. An app is great as one source of language. And now we reach to my final point. Don't just focus on one source. Now we live in this wondrous world when we have access to nearly anything. So you can use apps, you can use books like hard copies or ebooks for language learning, but you can go on YouTube and watch a course in language just like you can watch basic Polish here on this channel, which I strongly encourage you to check out. So you can use that, you can use YouTube, you can go on Netflix and choose subtitles to learn a language, or you can choose subtitles in your native language and listen to the language of the actors. You can access foreign radio stations online. So you have this bunch of different sources that you may need and want to use. So there's no need to just fixate on one. I'm a total book geek. I love books, especially hard copies, and I did that mistake of only focusing on books while learning a language. And it's all great and fun, but in the end, books will not teach you the pronunciation. Of course, there may be recordings which are great and should be used in the process of learning, but at some point it's actually good to go online and listen to the native speakers of the language you want to learn. Listen to the actual articulation. Learn new words, learn slang. Just expand your horizons. Don't get stuck to one resource. Is it a book? Is it an app? Is it whatever? Just use different stuff. For one thing, it will help you learn more easily, and for another, you will not get bored. Because if you really don't feel like using the same old book, there is a choice in other resources you may use to learn your language. Stay tuned to the channel if you want to learn about my method of language learning, and if you want to learn some basic Polish, check out the Basic Polish playlist, and I do hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye!